I'm seeing too many kids, that's all they do. Well, you want to play that game, you've got to learn how to program it. You know, you need to start learning how to do something that you can actually end up doing as a career. You know, because I would have been Miss Video Game Addict if those had been around when I was a kid. Now, I'm a visual thinker, and I think completely in pictures. And the HBO movie did a fantastic job showing how I think in pictures. And then on the DVD, it also has a commentary, and I talk a lot about autism and a lot about animal behavior in the commentary. Now, when I was younger, I thought everybody thought in pictures. I didn't know my thinking was different until I wrote Thinking in Pictures, and I started questioning people about how they think. Now, being a visual thinker is a big, huge asset for an equipment designer, because I can test run stuff in my head. I thought everybody could test run stuff in their head. I didn't know other people couldn't do this. And there's an aerial view of the dipping vat system that they actually built for the movie. Oh, the geek side of me loves the fact they build all my projects. Love that. And they showed my visual thinking accurately, they showed anxiety accurately, and sensory problems accurately. The movie is very clinically accurate in terms of showing autism in a realistic way. Now, unfortunately, this projector is not very nice, and my drawings don't look very nice on it. You know, when I was in my early 20s, people thought I was really weird. And the only way I could sell myself was by showing my work. I sold my work rather than myself. And people would look at my drawings and they go, oh, wow, you did that. And unfortunately, I was going to show it off to a potential client. I'd want a better image than that. It really is terrible. I'm sorry, this really is an awful projector. I go around in a lot of places, and this projector gets an F for displaying the drawings. I don't know, you know, some places you go and they have the same setup just like this, the projector works fine. But, you know, another thing I always preach to people is make sure you show yourself off the best you can show it off. This is not showing off, but this really is bad. But I basically sold jobs by showing people my work. And Mother was always pushing me to do new things. Like when I was 15, she made me go out to my aunt's ranch. I was afraid to go out to my aunt's ranch. She said, 1 week or all summer. I ended up staying all summer. You gotta push these kids some. You gotta just push them some. Now, no surprises. Surprises cause panic. You know, I was shown pictures of the ranch and everything long before I went to the ranch. But you gotta push some. I'm seeing too many of these kids getting coddled. I'm seeing smart 12-year-olds that are fully verbal that don't know how to order food at Tim Hortons or McDonald's. That's totally ridiculous. You know, I brought up in the 50s, boy, that kind of stuff was pounded in. I knew how to shop very young. No, you don't run behind the counters. You don't touch stuff you're not going to buy. I learned how to go buy a kite and then, you know, take my allowance and go and pay for it. And if I wanted one of those wind-up airplanes, that was a week and a half's worth of allowance. You know, I started understanding these things very, very young. And I like to fantasize that 1,000 years from now, they're going to dig that up and wonder what it's for. And somebody's going to be discussing its religious significance. And that is here in Canada. Now, this is a really cool picture that was in this little Rain Man book, because I have all these detailed pictures floating around in my head. How do I form a concept? I form a concept by sorting pictures into categories. All concepts are learned by specific examples. This kid is sorting cats and dogs into little boxes in his brain. That's the beginning of concept formation. Now, I realized my thinking was different when I wrote Thinking in Pictures, and I started interviewing people about how do they think. And I asked them, think about a church steeple. How does it come into your mind? Well, I was very shocked to find out that a lot of people just saw a very, very vague, generalized church steeple. You know, and I just see specific ones. I'll take care to start telling you where they're at. And over this beautiful bed and breakfast, and they had a little terrier statue in a cabinet, and I started seeing other dogs I'd seen, the same breed of dog, and another statue that I saw at a house in Japan when I went and visited. You know, I started seeing specific things that were related to that statue.